Hey there, welcome back to another quick and easy watercolor painting. Today I'm doing some line and wash, and we're going to do a little bit of a very rural scene that I see quite often in my life. And I'm doubling up these lines, you'll see. And this is a kind of an interesting place for me because it's very near and dear to my heart. It's a place I see quite often. I live in Northumberland County in rural Ontario, and we have a lot of country. So I'm just drawing in some trees here. I'm gonna make some trees that are sort of behind other trees. And again, I'm just doubling up my lines. Make these lines come all the way down into the hedgerow or whatever it is that you might think of that. I put in some fence posts along here because that's sort of the way that looks to me. And there's some trees along here that sort of overlap, and some smaller trees. And again, I'm going to continue to double up my lines, and I'm going to pull these tree trunks all the way down so they touch the ground like that. There's actually a few more here. And I'm going to continue to double up my lines. And you can make this, any way that you think this, you're more than welcome to make this into your painting. I'm just giving you some guidelines of what it is that I know that works for me. And I like to draw stuff in. Some people will paint and then draw in. That whatever it is that works for you, it's perfectly fine. So I'm going to put in some sky right now, and we're going to do that wet on dry. I'm going to pick up some blue here. Mix up a little bit of blue. Actually, I'm going to mix up a whole lot of blue because I got a pretty big sky to cover. And I'm going left to right. I'm going to keep all my strokes fairly consistent. And I'm not worried too much about whether or not I touch the ground. I'm going to try to not touch these trees like that. And I have a smaller brush here that I'm going to use to paint underneath these trees like that. Okay. See, my inks ran there a little bit. It wasn't quite dry before I started, but that's okay. And then I'm going to take my bigger brush and sort of just straighten that up a little bit. And again, I'm going to make my brush strokes go from left to right. Beautiful. Okay, now I got a tissue here, just a regular tissue. And I'm going to try to make some clouds. Just like that. And just touch it into there and just don't try to do any more than that. Don't try to go and fix it or, make it into something that's prettier. Just leave it the way it is there. This down here is very green for me, so I'm going to put this, it's springtime, so we're going to just put that in there, just very, very green, just like that. This one back here is also that very green color. So I'm going to put that in across there. And if you want to be a little bit more careful about it, you can grab a smaller brush. This is a number 4 round watercolor brush. I'd love to know where you're from, so if you can just drop in the comment section a quick little comment to me and let me know where it is that you're from. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear where my viewers are from. It's always super interesting for me anyways. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in here too, just to give that a little bit of variation. These fields right here are this sort of yellow ochre kind of color. So I'm just going to mix up a bunch of yellow ochre here and put this in here. And my brush strokes are going to come down, like, because this is coming downhill, so my brush strokes are going to come down this way towards that. Pick up a little bit more yellow ochre. I want that to be a little bit more intense than that. Okay. All right, that's turned out not too bad. And this field right across here is almost completely yellow, so I'm just going to put this, I believe this yellow is just sunshine yellow, or yeah, I think it's sunshine yellow it's called. I'm just going to put that in there just like that. Maybe make it a little bit more intense. And if these colors bleed one into the other, that's perfectly fine. Okay, just drag it in the direction that you think the hill is going. So for me, the hill is coming down here. And I think I'm going to lighten this up a little bit. So I'm going to put a little bit of this yellow just in with this yellow ochre. Give it a little bit more of a mottled kind of a look. That's turned out not too bad. All right, so we need this to completely dry before we go on and finish the trees, okay? So you can take a hair dryer to it. You can let it air dry, whatever it is that you want to do. Okay, so that's turned out pretty cool already. You can see where that yellow mixed in with that yellow ochre, and some of it is spilled over there. It's perfectly fine. You can see where that little bit of yellow is in there. It's turned out all right. Okay, so we're going to paint some trees here. So on these ones, on these trees here, we're going to put a little bit of blue on these trees. A couple of these up here too, we're going to put some blue onto. All right, we'll put a little bit of blue into this sort of hedgerow here. And you'll see, because we're using wet on dry, that paint will stay exactly where you put it, okay? And then I'm going to take a little bit of green here. I'm going to put the green fairly intense, quite a bit of green into where that blue is. And up here, I'm going to put the green here. Some green here. Wherever you want that to be a little bit greener. Now I'm going to mix some of this green in with this blue of this hedgerow. Just like that. Okay, that's turned out all right. I do say so myself. Now I'm going to pick up a little bit of yellow. Okay, so I have some yellow here now on this brush. And I'm just going to drop that yellow into those trees. Doesn't have to be in all of them. Nice. Give it a little bit of variation. You can take some of this yellow and drop it in across here. Okay. All right. It's turned out not too bad. All right, let's let this dry and see what we get. All right, so those trees dried up pretty nicely. You can see how, adding those different colors in there sort of gives you this mottled kind of a look. Let's put our little mat on here and see what we get. Yeah, that's not too bad, right? Yeah, you can move your mat around, get more sky, less sky, whatever it is that you want. All right, I think that turned out not too bad. I hope you give it a try. I'd love to know where you're from. If you leave me a question or a comment, I'd love to hear from you. If you're currently a subscriber, thank you very much. And if you're not currently a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. Only about 10% of people are actually subscribed to me, so I'd love to hear from you. Thanks a lot. I hope all your paintings turn out, and we'll see you again real soon.